Viewer discretion advised. This content is based on reported courtroom testimony, public statements, and unverified rumors for educational and entertainment purposes only. What does it take to bring down a king? Sean Diddy Combs, once the untouchable titan of hip-hop, now sits in a stark Manhattan courtroom, his empire crumbling under the weight of a single voice. Not a celebrity expose, not a leaked tape, but a man most never heard of until now. Gene Deal. For years, Diddy's former bodyguard warned the world about a darker side to the mogul's glittering world. Nobody listened. They called him a grudge holder, a nobody chasing clout. But in the federal sex trafficking trial that's captivated the globe since May 2025, Deal's words aren't just whispers anymore. They're evidence, and they're ripping apart everything Diddy spent decades building. How did one man's story become the key to unraveling an empire? Let's go back to the beginning. Gene Deal wasn't just any bodyguard. He was Diddy's shadow during the golden era of bad boy records, the 90s and early 2000s, when hits like Mo Money Mo Problems ruled the charts. Deal stood by Diddy's side at star-studded events, private jets, and late-night studio sessions. He saw the glamour, the fur coats, the champagne, the all-white Hamptons parties. But he also saw what cameras didn't catch: a world of control, fear, and secrets. In interviews as far back as 2018, Deal spoke of violent outbursts, hidden cameras, and gatherings that weren't just wild, they were calculated. People dismissed him, saying he was bitter, maybe jealous of Diddy's success. But now, in a packed courtroom, his stories are lining up with chilling precision to witness testimonies and hard evidence. Deal's no scorned lover or tabloid star. He's a man with nothing to gain and a memory that's proving razor sharp. But what exactly did he see? Deal's accounts paint Bad Boy Records as less a music label and more a tightly controlled operation. He's described a world where Diddy ruled like a general, not a CEO. Staff were monitored, their phones checked, their loyalty tested. Privacy, that was a myth. Deal once said in a 2022 podcast, everybody was watching everybody, but nobody knew who the cameras were really on. He claimed Diddy used fear, favors, and sometimes substances to keep people in line. Assistants, artists, even romantic partners. One story stands out. Deal's claim that he witnessed moments of physical tension between Diddy and Kim Porter, the late mother of his children, in the early 2000s. He described a night where Porter had to defend herself, leaving Diddy with a cut wrist. Back then, people called it gossip, but recent trial testimony about a hospital visit Porter made after a dispute has jurors rethinking Deal's words. The prosecution's building a case not of one bad night, but of a pattern that spanned years. And then came the trial's bombshell moment. Picture this, day 7 of the trial, May 18th, 2025. The courtroom's electric, packed with reporters scribbling furiously. Jurors are shown a grainy surveillance video from one of Diddy's properties, and sources say their faces went white. The footage allegedly shows a disturbing scene, guests escorted to private rooms, phones confiscated, just as Deal described in interviews years ago. He talked about gatherings where control, not chaos, set the tone. The video, prosecutors say, backs him up. Diddy, usually cool and composed, reportedly trembled, his hands unsteady as he leaned toward his lawyers, whispering frantically. Courtroom insiders say it was the first time he looked truly shaken, a crack in the mogul's armor. One juror was seen exchanging glances with another, as if silently saying, "This is real." The evidence wasn't just a video, it was Deal's past warnings coming to life. How did Diddy build such a system? The freak-off parties, as Deal calls them, are at the heart of the prosecution's case. These weren't your typical celebrity bashes. Deal's alleged for years that they were meticulously planned, down to the lighting, music, and guest lists. Phones were taken at the door, not for privacy, but for control. Guests were allegedly given specific instructions: what to wear, where to go, what to do. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex and a key witness, spent 4 days on the stand describing these events in gut-wrenching detail. She spoke of drug-fueled nights where she and others were pressured into acts they didn't fully agree to. Deal's interviews echo this. The cameras were always rolling. It wasn't about fun, it was about leverage. If you stepped out of line, Diddy allegedly had footage to destroy you. Lil Rod, a producer suing Diddy in 2024, claimed the same. mentioning NDAs and threats to keep people silent. The prosecution's weaving these stories into a chilling narrative. This wasn't a man losing control, it was a man designing it. Other accusers, some anonymous, have described similar scenes: private rooms, intoxication, coercion. These aren't just allegations anymore. They're a pattern the jury can't ignore. But who else was involved? Rumors about Diddy's inner circle are swirling, and Deals dropped a claim that's got the internet buzzing. He suggested Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, played a role in enabling some of his behavior, allegedly running a modeling agency that was a front for something far darker. These claims haven't been proven in court, and we need to be clear, they're just rumors for now. But X posts are lighting up with speculation, with users asking if Diddy's family was complicit. There's also talk about his sons, Christian and Justin Combs. Christian's been linked to a 2024 yacht incident involving a sexual assault lawsuit, while Justin was detained during a September 2024 raid on Diddy's mansion. No charges have been filed against them, but the whispers are growing. Deals hinted that Diddy's business and personal life were dangerously intertwined, with family members caught in the web. Online, fans are digging into old clips of Justin Bieber, who was mentored by Diddy as a teen, speculating about what he might know. Bieber's team has denied any victimhood, but the buzz persists. Posts on X even mention Usher, another Diddy protege, though he stayed silent. These are unverified rumors, but they're fueling a firestorm of curiosity, yet the courtroom revealed a bigger picture. Cassie Ventura's testimony has been a game changer. For 4 days, she laid bare a decade of what she calls psychological captivity. She didn't just confirm Deal's stories, she added depth. Cassie admitted to arranging some freak-offs, booking venues, even supplying substances, but she was clear. I did it because I felt I had no choice. Her voice, steady but raw, gripped the courtroom. She described a Diddy who wasn't just controlling, he was calculating, making her believe her career, her safety, even her identity depended on him. When the defense tried to paint her as a willing participant pulling up flirty 2009 texts, Cassie didn't waver. I participated because I believed I had to, she said, her honesty disarming the room. The defense's attempt to drag in her past relationships with Michael B. Jordan and Kid Cudi was shut down by the judge as irrelevant, leaving their strategy in tatters. Cassie's candor turned her from a potential liability into the prosecution's strongest voice, and Deal wasn't the only insider talking. The prosecution's witness list is growing, and Deal's accounts are opening doors. Sources say subpoenas are out for former Bad Boy employees, potentially including Don Richard and Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane, who've publicly called Diddy's environment toxic. Richard's 2024 lawsuit alleges emotional manipulation, while O'Day's spoken of pressure to conform. If either takes the stand, it could shatter the defense's narrative that Cassie's a lone opportunist. Deal's named other names: security staff who looked the other way, artists who were groomed for loyalty. He's described a process where new hires, especially women, were tested, flown out, plied with substances, and filmed to see how far they'd go. Those who complied stayed, those who didn't were cut off. Prosecutors are reportedly using Deal's insights to map out a RICO case, painting Diddy's empire as a criminal enterprise, not a music label. Every day, more documents are unsealed, more names surface. The question isn't just who's testifying, it's who's next. But Diddy's unraveling wasn't just about words. The jury's watching Diddy himself, and he's falling apart. Once the epitome of charisma, fur coats, Ciroc bottles, red carpet swagger, he's now a ghost of that image. Courtroom reporters describe him as gaunt, pale, his eyes darting nervously. On day 6, audio evidence allegedly played Diddy's voice ordering a woman into a private room. He flinched, visibly shaken, and asked for a bathroom break, whispering to his team, "I'm shaking." Body language experts, quoted by outlets like The Breakfast Club, say his slumped posture and trembling hands are swaying jurors as much as the testimony. Deal once said, Diddy's worst fear wasn't prison, it was irrelevance. For a man who branded himself as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, then Love, losing the spotlight is a nightmare. In court, he's not the mogul who partied with presidents. He's a man watching his carefully crafted myth collapse in real time. And the defense was running out of moves. Diddy's legal team is scrambling, and they didn't see Deal coming. Their strategy, painting Cassie and others as scorned opportunists, has backfired. When they tried to use old text to suggest Cassie enjoyed the freak-offs, her response was devastatingly honest. "I believed I had to." Their attempts to bring up her past with other celebrities were struck down as irrelevant, leaving them grasping at tabloid straws. Legal insiders say the team's fractured, with some pushing for a plea deal Diddy's rejected. Deal warned years ago that Diddy thought he was smarter than the feds, turning down settlements with Cassie that could have saved him millions. In 2023, he reportedly paid her $30 million after his ex-lawyer Benjamin Brafman advised $10 million. That overpayment screamed panic, and Brafman quit soon after. Now, with Deal's consistent accounts matching evidence like surveillance photos and metadata, the defense can't dismiss him as a disgruntled ex-employee. He's a stoic insider with no stake in the game, and that makes him dangerous. But what does this mean for Diddy's legacy? Diddy built an empire that defined an era. Bad Boy Records launched legends like Notorious B.I.G. and Mary J. Blige. Ciroc Vodka and Revolt TV made him a mogul beyond music. His all-white Hamptons parties were the stuff of legend, his name synonymous with power and excess. But the trial's rewriting that story. X posts are flooded with fans re-examining old videos, Diddy mentoring a young Justin Bieber, hosting star-studded events, wondering what was happening behind the scenes. The prosecution's painting a picture of a man who didn't just chase fame, but controlled it, allegedly using NDAs, bribes, and fear to silence anyone who threatened his image. Over 60 lawsuits since 2023 claim a decades-long pattern of coercion and abuse. Deal's testimony ties it together, showing a system where silence was bought or coerced. The public's watching a legend become a cautionary tale, and the shift is seismic. And the question remains: what's next for this unraveling empire? Gene Deal's warnings, once dismissed as bitter rants, have become the prosecution's blueprint. His accounts of surveillance, freak-offs, and fear aren't just stories. They're corroborated by Cassie, Lil Rod, and mounting evidence. Prosecutors are reportedly prepping more witnesses, from former staff to artists like Don Richard or Aubrey O'Day. Every unsealed document, every new testimony, chips away at Diddy's myth. This isn't just about one man anymore. It's about a culture of power, fear, and silence that thrived for decades. As that silence breaks, the world's left wondering, who else saw the truth? Who else will step forward to speak? The jury's listening, the public's watching, and Diddy's empire may never recover.